Hello my YouTube friends! Being creative on a live stream is half the battle. Adding more cameras is an awesome way to add another layer to your live stream. There are a lot of creative ways to use a second camera or even a third camera. Today I'm going to show you how to add and use multiple cameras in your OBS live streams. We've got a lot to get to, so you know what? Let's get to it! I think the best use of a second camera is to help teach a skill where showing your hands is useful, like teaching guitar or piano. In this example, I'm going to show you how to add a second camera for a gaming channel. Yeah, maybe not quite as important, but still, it's a chance to show your audience what buttons you're pressing in real time. So here's how you do it. This is the simple setup that I'm going to show you. I have a nested camera right here. I have a hand camera right here. Then we have a game scene with just me in it. And we have a game scene with just our keyboard in it. And then, of course, we have a game scene with both of them in it. And you can see we've got a nifty little animation going for our switching scenes. All that kind of stuff. Very simple setup. I'm going to show you how to do it really quickly in OBS. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go up here to Scene Collections and I'm just going to create a new one. And we'll call this Game Toot and click OK. Alright, so down here in Scene, I'm going to rename this one right here. And I'm going to call this NS Cam. And that's just how I name my nested scenes, so I know. I'm going to click the plus and I'm going to go to our video capture device. And I'm going to just call this main cam and click OK. And it has my proper view right there. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, use a custom audio device, and I'm going to select it. But you're going to see in a second that I'm probably going to just go ahead and mute that anyways. And I'll show you why. So I want to go ahead and just adjust my camera a little bit to make sure that it's properly set up. And there we go. I could probably shrink it up a little bit more, but that's pretty good. That's what we want. And so we now have our first scene right here. We're going to add our other camera and we're going to call this NS Hand Cam. And I like to put that little dash in there so it guarantees it's kind of be easily identifiable. And then I'm going to click my plus and I'm going to add a camera. So in this case, video capture device, and we'll call this hand cam and click OK and just drop this down and I'll select our Insta360. And then I have to go and adjust my Insta360 camera so it's facing the proper direction. There we go. And so all I have to do here is I can select the microphone again. Generally probably want to do that, and I'll show you why we're probably going to mute it anyways. Now all I have to do is go ahead and crop this up the way that I want it, because of course I don't need all the other stuff that's going on in my room to be actively visible. We've got lots of cables and stuff. Cable management is not my bag, baby. So here we go. Boom. So now we have our little handy cam set up. We've got two cameras, this one and this one. What I'm going to do is go ahead and create a game scene. So we'll call this one Game 1. And we'll just click on the OK button. And what I'm going to do is add in the screen for our game. In this case, I'm just going to use a simple display capture. You can use a game capture if you want. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to use a display capture because I find it easier for the game visuals to always be on, even when the game's not selected. When you use game capture, a lot of times you have to select the game so that it will physically appear in your background. So there we go. So now we have our game on here. We do need some game audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an application audio capture. Call this game audio, and I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to go ahead and select our game audio, in this case Starfield, and if we select the game, boom, there we go, we can see our audio playing. Awesome. Alright, so now all we have to do is add our cameras. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and use a source clone, and we're going to call this REMBG cam, and I'm going to click the OK button, and I'm going to select the source that I want to clone. In this case, it is going to be our camera scene, and we can have the audio in there if we want. It's not really a thing that matters. You can see that it's already muted my audio. It's not using it. If I selected, in this case, if we go into properties and instead of selecting the scene, I selected the camera directly right there, then you can see that we do have the audio coming in. So let's do that for now so I can show you why this is a problem. I'm going to go ahead and right click. We're going to go to filters, and I do have an NVIDIA card with all of the NVIDIA background removal stuff loaded up. So I'm just going to remove my background. If you're not familiar with how this works, I can go ahead and put it up there in the top right hand corner. You can check it out for yourself if you do have an NVIDIA card. But that makes this pretty easy. I'm just going to shrink this down, place it over here, and there we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and right click on this, and I'm going to duplicate it, and we're going to call this one game 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this camera right here, and I'm going to click the plus, and I'm going to go to our scene, and I'm just going to capture our hand cam scene. Click OK, and I'm going to shrink this down and place it in about the same location as our other one. There we go. That's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do, and you can see right here, we still have our audio. That's coming in perfectly. Here we have our audio. It's coming in perfectly. What I'm going to do is go ahead, right click, and we're going to duplicate this one. And we'll call this one game 3. Click OK. And you can see if I select a game, we still have our game audio. So we're good. And in this one, we still have this audio. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click our little plus here, and we're going to go to our source clone, and we're just going to use the same source clone that we used in the other one. Boom. And we're going to shrink this up, and we'll just place it right over top of this little guy here. So now you can see what the problem probably is. Both of our cameras have the same audio, which means there's a good chance our audio is going to be doubled. That, my friends, is a problem. I'll show you how to get around that in a second, but the first thing I want to do is show you what we got here. And that looks pretty cool, but we can make it cooler really simply. We're going to use the Move Transition. If you're not familiar with the Move Transition, it's an easy plugin you can download. It's totally free. And once you do, all you have to do is click the plus and select Move. And that's going to be our transition. Now, if I just click OK, you can basically see what we're going to get. And that looks pretty cool. But I don't like how our assets are coming in from the center. I think they should all come in from the right. So what you can do is go here and select Properties, and we'll just go down here, and this has right here appearing items, and they're coming from the center left, but we want to just have them come in from the right. And then we have disappearing items, in other words, stuff that's getting removed, and that's going to the center right. Let's just select right so they all go to the same spot. Click OK. So now when we change, there we go, everything goes in and out from the same spot. Very cool. Super simple, really easy. Now we have to solve our audio problem, because as you can see, we have audio doubled right here, and that's bad. So we're going to go into our NS camera, and I'm just going to mute it. And I'm going to go into our hand cam, and I'm just going to mute it. And so now when we go in here, let's see here, that is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's muted properly. But this one is not muted properly. Oh, that's because I used a source clone. So what we're going to do in the source clone one here is we're going to go right into properties and we're just going to uncheck the audio. That makes it easier. So now we have no audio in this scene except for our game audio. When we select the game, the audio comes on. We have no audio functional in this scene. You can see it's muted. And we have no audio functional in this scene either. You can see that it's muted. So what we're going to do is go ahead and we're just going to click the plus here. And we're going to go to audio input capture. And we're going to just call this mic. And this is the easy way to avoid having doubled audio or anything like that. It just makes the most sense. So we're going to select our microphone. In this case, it's going to be this one right here. And there we go. So now we have a mic in there. And all you have to do is go here, click the plus, add an audio input capture, and just add the existing mic right there. So it's going to add that mic. And you can see the other one is just muted. Then we're going to go into our game 3. And we're going to do the same thing. Just click the plus. We're going to add an audio input capture and we're going to select our existing mic and click OK. And now we have good audio. We can still select the game and we have the game audio. We have multiple cameras doing super cool stuff. And once you get to this point, it's really, really easy to do pretty much anything you want. So we can go ahead and right click and we'll duplicate this scene right here. And we'll call this game 4. And then what we'll do is we'll just move this guy over here. And we'll move this guy over here in this scene. And now you can see, boom, look at that. You can pretty much move your cameras anywhere you want. Now you might be saying, well, Mike, it's really hard. I'm going to have to now select my scene or whatever. You can set all of these up in a Stream Deck, or you can set them right up with hotkeys in OBS. So what you can do is go into settings and then go into hotkeys and just select the different scenes. So game 1, switch to scene, set your hotkey. Game 2, switch to scene, set your hotkey. Game 3, switch to scene, set your hotkey. Game 4, switch to scene, set your hotkey. And then, right on your keyboard, right in here, you can just have 4 keys right there. That you click those keys, it will change scenes for you. Super easy. Oh, and by the way, let me show you something else that works pretty good. Let's go ahead and create a new scene. We'll go ahead and duplicate this one. And we'll just call this Game Scene 5. And on Game Scene 5, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to remove the handy cam. And I'm just going to go ahead and embiggen this one. And there we go. So now when we switch from Scene 4 to Scene 5, or Scene 1 to Scene 5, or whatever, now we have, you know, a zoomed in camera. So you can easily do this with both cameras. You can zoom them in, zoom them out, and the move transition makes it all look seamless, like it's supposed to happen. It's so friggin' awesome. By the way, once again, there's a link in the description to the move transition so you can download it, install it, and use it yourself. It's really not any more complicated than exactly what I showed in this video. Now you should go out there and create epic live streams with multiple cameras and do lots of fun creative stuff. I told you it was easy. There are a lot of other ways to use multiple cameras. The only real limit is your imagination. If you want to see how you can easily add a real-time voice changer to your live stream, or just to play around on Zoom or Discord, you should definitely check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.